I have in my hand Motorola's Rocker E8 music phone. Recently came out for T-Mobile in the USA and T-Mobile in the UK. Phone has a fairly slim profile, very solidly built, nice soft touch, rubbery kind of paint on the back, while it's glossy and perfectly flat on the front. Keypad, which I'll get into a little bit later, is quite different. It's touch sensitive, and you can see there are no real keys there, although there are some little nubs that help guide you on the keypad. The scrolling device here that goes around the D-pad is a very odd device. It's a mega wheel is what we call it. It's speed sensitive in terms of how far you move back and forth. It's not like a regular scroll wheel. It's a little difficult to use, but it's great for zipping through long lists, which I'll show you later. The design's pretty simple. It's just a very thin block, solidly designed, couple of controls, volume, camera on the one side, micro USB port, a lock and power switch on the right, microphone, lanyard loop, and a poorly fitting cover for a 3.5mm audio jack. In terms of pocketability, though, it's quite pocketable, and you really can feel that this thing's tough. The coolest feature on the Rocker E8 is its morphing keypad. As I mentioned before, there are no physical keys here. It's touch sensitive, but the great thing about it, or there's two great things about it. One is it changes depending on the context of what you're doing. So right now we're in a normal standby screen. I could be dialing, whatever. So it looks like a keypad. If I hit this music button here, you'll see the keypad automatically switches up, and what felt like buttons before are no longer buttons. There's new buttons here, and notice they're not even lined up with where the numbers used to be. What Motorola does is every time you're in a different application, it only lets you see the buttons that matter. I just loaded up the camera. Now you see zooming controls and other controls specific to the camera. So really it acts as a dedicated device no matter where you are. Even so far as when you're inside the menu, I'll use the D-pad here and go into the profiles, and you'll notice the keypad will disappear once there's no more use for the number keys. Even cooler with the whole thing is that it feels like they're physical keys pressing in. Motorola uses some unique haptic feedback technology and little piezo vibration devices underneath various locations here, so you get localized haptic feedback. When I press in, there's a click, and when I let go, there's another click, so it really feels like a button going in and out. It's quite realistic. It sounds a little funny, but it really is a nice feel to it, and it's great technology. With a device like the Rocker E8, music is tantamount of what it can do. So the music player is pretty capable. The device has 2 GB of internal storage and can accept a micro SD card slot that holds up to another 4 GB, so you can get up to 6 GB total. You can see if I just go through here and pick a song, displays album art, on the little progress bar. I can skip around if I want, or skip to the next track. Everything you would normally expect. Organizes music by band, the artist name, the album name, that kind of stuff, genre, just like you would expect. The rest of the features on the Rocker E8 are pretty standard. In fact, the user interface, it's a little bit slow, although a new firmware update is supposed to be coming out over the next couple of days. You can use the touch-sensitive D-pad in the middle. It has the same haptic feedback as the other keys, or you can use the Omega wheel to scroll through, but you can see it's a little unwieldy, a little hard to control. If you go very slowly, it's okay, I guess, but it's really meant for long lists, like when you have 1,000 tracks in the MP3 player. The camera is quite disappointing on this phone. It has a odd magenta haze in the center of it that shows up on the photos that it takes. It's really not recommended. I mean, it's bad for a lot of reasons, so let's just say that this isn't going to be your primary camera. But other than that, sound quality is good, battery life's quite good, the reception seems to be, what we would expect from a current day handset. Overall, it's pretty nice, except for that camera, and the new technology used on the keypad is really unique. I mean, this is definitely a device that people will notice. So there you have it, Motorola's Rocker E8.